Happy Saturday, everyone. Welcome in. Welcome to the Saturday stream here. This one is going to be a bit of a relaxing stream. The last couple weeks, we've done quite a bit of work with PowerShell. So today, we're just going to take a look at some modules. We were supposed to do the Windows Server 2025 preview, but this week has been quite a hectic week for me, for myself. So I haven't had a chance to actually download that preview ISO and have it ready for us to go today. So unfortunately, we won't be able to do that. I'll try to get that all configured for one of the next live streams. I should definitely be able to get that set up there. So let's just go ahead. Let's switch the scene here. I think this is going to be the scene right here. Yep. So this should be good. So today is really just going to be like a nice little relaxing stream. We're going to take a look at some PowerShell modules on the PowerShell gallery, see if we can find anything cool. I have one in my mind that I have heard of, so we're going to try to look for it to see. We're going to sort by popularity. I think it's actually quite popular for a module that's going to help system administrators or IT manage SSL certificates and some other system administration tasks. So I kind of want to check that out. And then we might go ahead and check out some programming games on Steam. I have quite a few. Not all of them are installed, so we can check out which ones we want to check out today, and then we can check out a bunch later on as well. I kind of like programming video games, more on the fact of they kind of polish your programming skills without really trying too hard. So they kind of make you think like logically. There's one game that comes to my mind. I think it's Human Resource Machine. There's some neat little puzzles in there that if you can actually figure out how to do it the most efficient way possible, it's pretty neat, and you can use that in real life in your scripts that you make with PowerShell or JavaScript or anything else that you coded. You can use those algorithms to become a little bit more efficient. So I find that they're kind of useful without really trying too hard. So let's go ahead and let's see if we can find the module. So the module that I'm actually thinking of is called Carbon. But we're going to scroll through the first couple pages here of the PowerShell gallery and just see if we can find anything really neat. Now, the first one that I actually see on the list here is PS Windows Update. I actually use this a lot. I actually have it set up on pretty much all of my machines in a work environment to actually update servers or client machines automatically. So if you guys still do updates manually, I would actually really recommend checking out PS Windows Updates. And we can even check that out on stream one time, or if you guys want, we can make a video on the PS Windows Updates and how you can actually automate your Windows updates through PowerShell. Now, I know there are a lot of other ways of automating updates, especially with Azure Arc and some of the other tools. But not everyone has an Azure environment. So PS Windows Update is kind of handy. We have a message in chat here. Hey, Jack, I currently have a PowerShell task I'm trying to complete, but keep getting an error. Can you help? Looked you up. You actually came at like the perfect day. Yeah, you can definitely throw your question in chat. We aren't working on anything specific today. It's just really kind of relaxing Q&A. So if you have a question, definitely feel free to put it in chat. We can actually take a look at it. If we can figure it out, great. If we might not be able to figure it out today, but we can try to figure it out as a group and try to figure it out on stream. So yeah, so definitely check out. I would really check out PS Windows Update if you guys haven't checked out that module. It is quite handy. So let's just keep going. A lot of these are going to be Azure and Azure modules. I think Carbon, I think I've seen it before on like the second, third, or fourth page. So let's just keep going down. Oh, there it is. So carbon right here. So the definition on carbon. Oh, we got another chat. Let me actually just pop out the chat here so it's easier for me to actually read. Been playing with Microsoft Graph. It's really cool what it's capable of. I work at a Microsoft house, so it's nice to be able to retrieve real data. I have a lot of research regards to JSON though. Jose, yeah, Microsoft Graph is really, really cool. And what's nice about Microsoft Graph is I'm not sure if you're using Graph just through like invoke REST method, which you're just doing like the API calls yourself. But there is a module for Microsoft Graph that you can run like get mg user. That's just like one of the few commands that you can use with that module. But yeah, so there's a whole module, Microsoft Graph PowerShell version 1, and there is a bunch of pre-configured commandlets with Microsoft Graph. I really, really like doing it that way. There's so many commands, yeah, and it's really, really handy. Makes it way easier than the old method when they didn't have this module where you had to do the graph commands by yourself. The only thing that I actually noticed, Jose, and I think that there's probably a way really around this. I just ended up making my own functions really quickly using the actual Microsoft API calls, was if you actually use another module called PNP PowerShell. So it's called PNP PowerShell. I use this module to basically go into SharePoint lists because we store data on a SharePoint list to do various tasks. And then I usually, the data in those lists, I usually then would use with Graph. As an example, you could make a lot of forms basically on Microsoft 365 that goes ahead and inputs data into a SharePoint list. And then you can have scripts that goes read that SharePoint list and does a bunch of like group modification. We do it for resets for MFA with our help desk, and you could use it for a variety of different things. The main thing is that the graphs module and the PNP module actually conflict. So PNP PowerShell uses Graph Core 1.25, whereas the Microsoft Graph module requires Graph 3.0 or higher. And I was encountering some issues. And according to everything that I could find, the PNP PowerShell, even the newest version of that module, still uses an old version of the Graph core DLL. So it still conflicts. That's the only conflict I've ever had between two modules. So I found that was kind of neat. And that's actually something that I found out this week. So it's still really, really fresh in my mind. But yeah, I actually recommend, and obviously you're already using it, the Graph module is super, super handy. I really, really like it. Makes it a lot simpler. And Joab, yeah, you can definitely show, so you're working with SQL, you're getting an error. Yeah, definitely. Like you post the error message that you're getting in chat. If you want to post, if you want to copy paste your PowerShell code in chat as well, you can definitely do that. Now, I don't have a SQL environment on my home lab right now. But I have done some SQL commands in PowerShell. So if it's something that I already know, I could easily help. If not, it might be something that I might get back to you, and I might just ask you if I can't figure it out right away. Maybe you just send me an email with it, and then I could take a look at it on a system where I actually have SQL installed and PowerShell installed. So back to Carbon here. So we already have two modules that are really, really great for you guys to use. We have the PS Windows Update and the Graph module. Graph is something that Jose already uses. I use as well. It's very, very handy, especially like he says, he's a Microsoft house. where I also work is a very much a Microsoft house, and a lot of the companies around where I live are Microsoft shops basically. So if you could get a lot of practice with that Microsoft Graph module, it would probably be very, very helpful. Another one that I found was really cool is this Carbon module. So Carbon is a PowerShell module for automating the configuration of Windows 7, 8, 2008, and 2012, and the automation and configuration of Windows applications. Now I know that a lot of these Windows versions that they mention are out of support, and I don't know if they work with the later versions. I would assume that they do, but I don't 100% know. Now, it is a very, very popular module, and there is a project site. But one of the nicest things that I saw here was actually it helps you manage certificates. And if we go into the documentation here, there is a very, very nice kind of breakdown of what you can do. And they actually say that you can install certificates and set the SSL certificate binding. Now, this is going to be probably very, very handy in the future, because it depends how long you've been in tech for. I'm approaching probably at this point close to like 10 to 12-ish years. And certificates before used to be good for about, like, you could get SSL certificates usually for about 2 to 3 years. There really wasn't that much work to do. Now they're 1 year, and there's talks of them going to a 90-day validity period, which means you'd be installing SSL certificates and updating bindings every 90 days. So you're probably going to want to start automating those types of tasks depending on how many certificates you have. I mean, even if you have one at 90 days, if we open up a calculator here, right now you're only doing it once a year, but you would be doing it at this point, you'd be doing it 4 times a year minimum, if you just have one certificate. If you're in a place that has 5 certificates, you're doing that 20 times in a year. That greatly, depending on what your staffing looks like, could get quite absurd. Now, I know that they don't take a super long time to do. You download the certificate, you import into IIS, you set up the certificate binding. Depending on how many websites you have on your IIS servers, though, you might be doing maybe one binding, like you could be doing 10 bindings. So it quickly escalates. So I would definitely kind of start looking into automating some certificates or practicing automation of certificates if you aren't already. This is not something that I've actually done. This is something that I want to look into, because once it does get to the 90-day period, I really don't want to be doing that every 90 days. So Juop's just about to post his scripts there. But there are a lot of different things in this module. So you could do some DSC resources, you can do some file systems, you can do some permissions, some directories. You can also do some firewall rules. You can manage groups on the computer as well, some host file. You can do a lot of IIS. So if you do have IIS servers, this could be potentially a very, very good module, because you have your certificates, you actually have some IIS configurations in there as well. So I think that that could be very, very handy. Now, a lot of these things, I mean, you can do it regularly without Carbon, of course, as well. Like you can do scheduled tasks without Carbon, but and you can do the Windows features without Carbon, of course. But some of them are quite nice. So let's just go back here and let's keep looking at submodules. Hey Jack, love the channel. Your content has been extremely helpful. Thanks, Ryder. I appreciate the support. I appreciate you watching the videos, and if they are extremely helpful to you, I really, really like to hear that. We've had quite a few people say that as well, so I'm really, really glad that the videos are actually helping people out. Because that's really the kind of the end goal for me, is really just to help as many people out as possible. Because when I was learning PowerShell, there are a lot of resources out there. There's just not a lot of resources that cover like system administration tasks and like the programming side of PowerShell, which I try to kind of show and empower some people to be able to use it. Not enough characters for the chat. If you want to just post the error message that you're getting drew up, and then maybe we can start with that and see what's going on. And if you know, oftentimes in the error message that you get from PowerShell, it'll tell you like the line and the character that the error is happening on. If you want to just post maybe that line, and then we can go from there. I might ask you for like the lines above before it in case it might like reference a variable or something before it. So yeah, so now we're at 3 modules that are pretty helpful. Um, I actually had a question come into me by email that was asking about iDRAX. So again, if you're a Microsoft shop, depending on like what type of servers you're using, you might be dealing with iDRAX a lot. Now, I use a specific module. Now, this is again just for Dell PowerEdge servers. So it's a very, very, very specific module. But I actually really, really, really like this module. So if you do have Dell PowerEdge servers and you want to manage the iDRAC, this module is extremely useful. It's the Dell PEWS man tools. There's a lot of functionality in here. You can reboot your systems. Right from here, you can check what the power state is. You can also configure a lot of things as well. It gives you a lot of abilities in here. So if we actually go inside the folder here, I think we should be able to see all the different tools here. Just trying to find all the different commands here for you guys. There's the docs. Should be in here somewhere. There you go. So yeah, so you can do a new pdrac session, which will connect to your DRAC, which is really, really nice. You can do a lot of networking. You can attach an ISO and do some booting to it as well. So there are a lot of, you can set the power states and get the power state as well. You can manage your virtual and physical disks, all from this module. So it is a very, very powerful module. So I definitely recommend checking that out for sure. Let's see if there's anything else here. Now there is a SQL Server module. Now this is not something that I've used a whole lot. There's a SQL Server, and there is also what's called DBA tools. So if I just go in here, now DBA tools is something that I know that a database administrator that I know uses quite a lot. And it is a very, very good module if you are managing SQL servers. So it's completely free. It's a module that you can use. There's a lot of commands on it, so you can install it. You can use it to restore a database. You can use it to back up. You can test your backups. Um, you can also do some snapshots. You can do a bunch of different things. You can even do things that aren't even really related to the database specifically, as well, which is kind of nice. Um, so that would be where I would go. And the nice thing is it supports SQL Server 2000 all the way up to the most recent. And we've tested it with Server 2022, and it does actually work. So if you guys want to use it with SQL Server 2000 all the way up to 2022, it does actually work. Now, I think that that's the most recent version of SQL Server. I don't really work with SQL all too often, other than the few videos that we've made on the channel, kind of just to be able to interact with it with PowerShell, because I do think that SQL, using a database with your scripts, is very handy. I actually use databases in my scripts quite a bit, in order to just reference, instead of referencing a CSV file or text file, I will reference databases, or you could even reference Elastic, which is more of like a NoSQL example. PS logging is another pretty good one. I've used that one just a few times, which is create and manage log files for your scripts. Now, this is pretty easy to kind of do on your own without a module. So it's more of, if you want something very polished, PS logging is probably really good for you. But there are a lot of other alternatives. I most recently we're logging using Elasticsearch. So it gives you like a really good ability to be able to search your logs very easily using Elasticsearch. All your logs are in one central place, which is very awesome. So you can actually search all your logs of different apps. If you're doing something for a user, you can see all the changes for that user from all your scripts, or just look up your one script. There are a bunch of different ways that you can do logging for sure. So let's just keep looking and seeing if there's anything else. Now, I've never used the TeamViewer PS. So PS Framework is one must-have module. PS Framework. I've actually never used that. I don't even think if I've even heard of it. So I really want to go check that out, actually. PS Framework. The PowerShell Framework project strives to provide tools and infrastructure for PowerShell developers, reduce development time, improve manageability of code, enhance scalability of code. PS Framework. Okay, let's see. Okay, so there's actually a lot. The project's modules. So PS Framework module is designed as a large toolkit enabling simple integration of advanced features, manageability of code and scripts, as well as enhancements to the individual user's experience. Advanced message and logging functionality, manage scripts and modules using VSC, simple tab completion, run safe development, and PowerShell scheduled tasks. Is there something for just the framework here? Okay, so getting started with the configuration system. So the configuration system provides a central way to offer and discover settings. It can also be used to control and manage those settings from outside of script code. It is designed to be used in both modules and individual scripts. Okay, yeah, I do think that this could be quite handy. I kind of want to actually look into this further, because this does seem like actually quite a, like there's a lot of functionality in here, I'm assuming. because that's what it kind of looks like. It looks like there's a lot of things that you can really do. You can do logging, you can do configuration. Very, very interesting. All right, I'm gonna have to add this for sure to my reading list because this does look very, very interesting, Gaspack. What do you use this module mostly for, if you don't mind me asking, just so I can have like an idea of what people actually use it for. I could see that you could probably use it for quite a bit of things, based on the configuration with CI/CD pipelines, DSC. Utilize a cache that persists across PowerShell sessions is pretty nice. The logging is pretty cool as well because it says here that you can log to event log, SQL, Graylog, Splunk, or Azure Log Analytics out of the box, which is kind of cool as well. Do they have anything in? I haven't found it here yet, I don't think. Let's see here. PS framework. Okay, PS framework right here. Oh, so it brings you to the same site. Juwab, on my YouTube channel, there should be GUI configuration items, logging, past variables across run space, anything really. All right, I'm gonna have to check that out, Gaspack, because it does seem quite interesting. It does seem like quite a hefty module. So I'm definitely gonna check it out and see where I can use it for sure. Juwab, on my YouTube channel, which I believe I can just access right here. I'm not signed in on my account here. Oh, there it is. So on my channel here.
This is Dave, head of marketing at a ketchup company, about to use Grammarly to handle a tight deadline. 2 weeks.
Let me just
Good thing Grammarly's tone suggestions can help move things forward, because conveying confidence.
Sorry about that, guys.
Just have to
Okay. All right. So on here, there is my email right here, right on my channel. So you should be able to just send me an email there, and then you can just attach your code in a text file, or just paste your code directly in the body. If you send me it as a PS1, I will not be opening it. So it needs to be in a text file or directly pasted into the body of the email. I just will not download any .ps1 files, and most of the time they don't actually send through if you send them as .ps1 files anyways, because Microsoft usually detects those as being malware or potentially malicious. All right, so that is pretty much like a bunch of different modules here that we can easily check out. And I think we have a lot to actually be able to check out. We have PS Framework. We have the Windows updates. So let's actually create a little list here of all the different modules that we kind of saw today that I think would be very, very useful for most people. Um, and also the recommendations that we got from chat as well, that I want to check out myself because I have not used them yet either. What's really, really nice about PowerShell, and I mean, it's kind of the same thing with a lot of other programming languages like Python and JavaScript, is that there are a lot of packages already made to where you don't really have to reinvent the wheel. Ryder, got to run. Cheers. Have a good day. Have a great day, Ryder, and have a good weekend as well. Hope you had a good week, and hope you have a really good weekend. Thanks for stopping in. Hope to see you again next week. For some reason, this notepad is not responding. Let me just restart it here. What we can do is we can just actually write something in here. We're just going to do modules.text here. All right, so we have the PS Windows Update module. We have the Microsoft .graph module. We have the Carbon module. We have PS Framework module. Where's the other? There was another module, I'm pretty sure, that we had seen. Oh, there was the DBA Tools module as well. So there was the DBA Tools module as well. I am not very good with Markdown. It's still something that I'm still trying to get down. Gas Pack. I've started using Markdown a little bit with like Azure DevOps, but I'm not very, very great at Markdown languages there. Look it up. I always forget how to do anything, and Markdown's not something that I practice a lot. Can you do Markdown in VS Code? Oh, you can. Very interesting. So we could do something like this then. We could do. Does it require like a specific. Does it require a specific extension? Usually does, right? .md, yeah. Okay, so let me just change this to rename .md. space after. Oh yeah, there is a space after. Okay, I see what you mean. Modules to check out, but then how do we make a list there? So is that a dash? Yeah. So we got this, 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 and this. All right, so we got all these modules that we can easily check out. So we have PS Windows Update, Microsoft.graph, Carbon, PS Framework, DBA Tools. Perfect. Thanks, Joe. I'll be checking that out probably after the stream. It might take me a few days just to like fully look at it and get back to you. I strongly suggest you use that for notes. Yeah, I'm gonna practice more Markdown because I actually do really like how it looks. Like I said, it's not something that I really use. Like honestly, I mostly just use OneNote, and then I kind of just blurb out everything on my OneNote. So module and then description. So what's the pipe? So if I did like a dash and then the pipe, PS Windows updates and then pipe, module for Windows updates. I'm assuming no dash at the beginning then, right? So if I did module name and then description, is there anything? Oh, I need to put the space here. Is there anything else that we need to do for a table? I'm just trying to see here if we can find it in here. Obsidian, eh? Between header, need a line for separator. Okay. So just this line here, like just a line or okay, so that, that, that. Oh, okay. I see. Okay, so we can change that. So then we can change that then. We can do this. Nice, thanks guys. So we do Microsoft dot graph and then do a space here. And then module to use graph without having to call the API directly. And then we got carbon, automate configurations, certificates, etc. Then we have PS framework, which that I'm going to grab the definition that GasPack gave us. Which was this here that I really want to check out. And then we have DBA tool. DBA tools. And then module to manage SQL servers and everything to do with SQL servers. All right, so let's go ahead. Let's just remove all of these. And there you go. Well, that's kind of cool. Now, is there any way that we could actually, so if we open preview, and then we can actually close that. Okay, perfect. So there's our modules to actually check out for everyone. Thank you to Mark Go and GasPack for helping me out with the Markdown and kind of making me use Markdown because it's not something that I use very often, as I mentioned. I want to also check out Obsidian because GasPack says that is a replacement of OneNote. So I'm going to take a look at that. Good channel, so I really appreciate your work. I do a lot of PowerShell, but I'm using the ISC mostly. Can you help me transition into VS Code? Can't stay on. I have gone down the PSU rabbit hole. So what I would really recommend, good channel, is I actually have a video, basically a whole video series that goes through so PowerShell 7 for beginners. That I actually help you set up VS Code for PowerShell, and the entire series will force you to use Visual Studio Code. So that is a very good way to do it. Also, pretty much all my tutorials afterwards all use VS Code to do them in. So if you go through like a couple of the projects that we do on the channel, it's going to be with Visual Studio Code. So that could be very, very handy for you. Even the, so these ones are still using the ISE, but all these PowerShell 7 videos and then the PowerShell 7 intermediate videos all use Visual Studio Code. All of my newer videos, like these Active Directory dashboard, all use VS Code as well. So that could be something that you could use for sure as well. So that's pretty much all I really had for PowerShell in itself. So now we could pretty much go down. So I'm going to I'll open up another tab here before I actually forget. Let's do Obsidian, Obsidian Notes. This way it kind of knows what I'm talking about. So Obsidian is the private and flexible writing app. Okay, yeah, that looks kind of neat. And it seems like there's a mobile version as well, which is kind of cool, and it's free for personal use. Visual, that's kind of cool that you can visualize the relationships between your notes, find hidden patterns in your thinking through visually engaging interactive graph. That's pretty neat. Create connections between your notes, link anything and everything, ideas, people, places, books, and beyond. Invent your own personal Wikipedia. canvas and infinite space, so you can add like pictures and stuff. You can do plugins. All right, that seems pretty cool, actually, Gaspack. I will actually take you up and on that, and I will probably download that and start using it. And try to use that primarily, because it does seem pretty cool. And I'm assuming it'll kind of force me to also get really, really good at um, Markdown. So we will actually use that very well. So let me just change my scene here. Let me just bring this over here. Let me just bring this down here. I don't know what that's going to look like right now. It's just a black screen. So let me just go ahead and let's do this, I believe. And let's do that. Okay, so let me just go into properties here and okay, so we have a few different things that we can actually do here. So some of the programming games that I do have is I have this while learn true. I also have the one that I was talking about a little bit earlier, which is human resource machine. So I've actually done quite a few of these. We have Exapunk as well, which is another programming style video game. We also have 7 billion humans. Learning Factory is another one, as well as Shenzhen IO. Human resource machine, sure thing. Yeah. So if anyone else has any other suggestions, I'm pretty much just gonna go with whichever one has the most amounts of picks here. So if that's the only one that is suggested, that is the one that we're gonna go. Oh, but yeah, it's not what you actually think it is. So basically, you're kind of like a human resource manager almost. And you're basically programming a human to do a job. It's kind of interesting. The puzzles at the beginning are fairly simple, but they do get a little bit complex towards the end. But it is pretty fun. The one that I haven't started yet is While True Learn. It does seem pretty interesting. And then Learning Factory is made by the same people, supposedly. And that one is not so much a programming game as much as it's like a logistics style game. So While True Learn is supposedly more around um more based around machine learning. Um, so the description that they give for the game is um, people who want to know more about how machine learning and related technologies work. Now, of course, if you're already into programming, a lot of these concepts that they're going to teach at the beginning of these are pretty simple. I usually find like the first couple levels are usually pretty easy on these. But they actually do get pretty complicated, especially if you're trying to get the most efficient solution. And that's why I really like these, and I really want to show these on stream, because I think if you just want to not necessarily practice your programming with like a actual programming language, but more practice the programming ideas and the algorithms, these are actually great tools. Um, I have a Discord. I don't have a Discord server yet, Gaspack. That is something that I want to create for the channel. But I do have a Discord. I just don't have a Discord server yet. Um, so what I think I'm gonna do, so Gaspack sounds good. I will try to reply to you as fast as I possibly can. I'll check out my emails after the stream. If it's something that I could tackle on right away, I will definitely let you know. So I think let's just go ahead. Let's try this one out for now. If it's not fun, we'll just go to human resource machine, because that one I know is a little bit fun. It's a little bit simple, but it's still quite a bit of fun. So let's go ahead. Let's launch this game here. And I'm going to make sure that the capture of the game works here. So let's just make sure that we are capturing Okay, perfect. So that seems good. That seems to be taking up the proper amount of the screen here. Okay, so let's start a new game here. So Marco, I am using OBS right now. And do you mean like the mini JackedProgrammer, like my little icon on the side here? Let me just lower this. It's probably not loud for you guys, but it's really loud for me. Yeah, so I'm using OBS right now, and my actual head and torso. So what I'm actually using for that is I'm using Zoom. So I have a Zoom meeting open. It's my very, very cheap way of doing a green screen. So let me actually try to see if I can show you guys my other screen here. Give me 1 second. Yeah, so basically my Zoom meeting looks like, okay, that does not look like anything. There's an OBS PowerShell module. That's pretty neat. I'll look that up for sure. It's probably easier to manipulate it through PowerShell than it is to manipulate it through the GUI for me. Because I often get kind of lost here. Let me just see if we can go here. Primary monitor. All right, so here's my screen, my OBS screen. Now, unfortunately, you won't see. So this is basically my Zoom meeting there. Oh, that probably won't be really good. OBS probably won't like that. That it minimized. It usually does not like that when I minimize it. Oh, actually, it's not that bad. I'm still moving on the screen. So yeah, so basically I have my OBS here, and then all I typically do is if I go back to my game screen here, and we add a screen capture, display capture, and then add existing screen, and let's put that at the bottom there, and let's do that. So as you can see, I have this Zoom camera here, and then I basically just remove the green screen. So I actually have properties in here, I believe. Or it's in the transform or order. Edit transform. So I transformed it quite a bit. And then I also did. There is like a green screen option somewhere that I did. I think it's in filters. Yeah, so I have a chroma key which removes the green from the green screen. So it kind of looks like I actually have a green screen. That's the way that I do it. It's the cheapest way, I think, to really kind of do something like that. So that's the way that I do it. There's probably many different ways to actually pull that off. I just find that that's the easiest way, really. All right, so let's go ahead and let's get started on a new game here. We're probably going to play this for till like 1:30 Eastern Standard Time. And then I will actually have to get going. So let's play the tutorial here. To become a programmer, you must master the art of turning the computer on. Press and hold the flashing triangle and drag to connect the power outlet to your PC, screen, and keyboard. When it's done, press the power button and that will appear in the upper right screen. Congratulations, you're almost a programmer now. I need to try that at my church. Yeah, I find like OBS is pretty handy, and it's a cheap way to get a green screen by using Zoom. I think it's pretty awesome. All right, so there's the power. Let's plug the monitor in. Let's plug the keyboard in. And let's power it on. Computer's on. One more step to be a programmer. We're clearly getting bugs in our program. And then the cat fixes it. So basically the whole game is you're building a machine learning program to understand cats. So let's enter our name here. So let's enter JackedProgrammer. We can't fully fit that in, so let's do Okay, how to recognize animal speech. Hey everyone, can you believe my cat, that little devil, has debugged my code again? He definitely has something to say, so I decided to make some sort of a system algorithm which would help me understand him. Give me advice, wish me luck. Maybe PS, I'm not insane, my mom has tested me. Don't rush ahead of yourself. Making a device that will be able to detect the cat would be a nice start. You can work with video sounds when the time is right. Hey, a couple days ago, I've been reading on how expert system can be applied for detecting animals and writing chatbots. The newspaper was called Deep News. I'll be sending you my copies once I'm done with them. Welcome to your workspace. This is where programming magic and bugs, mostly bugs, is born. They aren't necessarily wrong with that. To begin, drag an expert system node from the list on the right. So let's drag our expert system here and drag the connection line from the starting node onto the left to the expert system node on the right. If you want to delete the connection, place your mouse over the line and press the right button mouse. All right, so let's connect these. I'm assuming we're just going to be connecting this and this. Okay, so I'm assuming that this works basically. It sends in red. If red, it goes here. Else, it goes here. Mark, go. Gotta feed my puppy. Cheers. Till next time. Thanks again, Mark, for checking out the live stream. Thanks for all your input as well. Thanks for the help on the markdown as well with Gas Pack. Hope to see you on the next stream. Hope you guys had fun. I hope you have a great weekend as well. All right, so time spent is 21 seconds out of 26. Nodes used 1. So we have a successful thing. Hey again, I tried that expert system and it hardly makes sense. Squares are floating from left to right. What is all the fuss about machine learning? Are you guys actually working there? This is called visual programming, my fellow dude. Yes, this is how it's supposed to work. The expert system analyzes your data input from the camera and checks if there's a cat on them. No, it's not what machine learning is all about. It will get hardcore soon enough. Well, I'm not very good at it yet. Apparently, when do I actually start building the cat translator? Don't rush it, my friend. You got to master your machine learning ninja skills first. I'm working as a freelancer and the amount of contracts is crazy. I'll forward you some jobs I don't have time for. It will help you get on your feet and earn some cat bucks as well. Check your mail now. You're still paying for the servers though. Hey, JackedProgrammer, noob advice. There is a auto help for each new technology. Very convenient. I've turned it on for you now. No need to thank me, but you will probably want to change your password. My cat talks 123 is pretty obvious. Behold the task tree. This is the map of your progression in the game. Vertical progression stands for story. Horizontal branches are optional. Icon colors stand for different types of machine learning text used in respective tasks. Sound pretty simple, or we hope so. All right, so let's go into applicants here. So applicants, good day. We're from a public school. Summer exams have ended. The results are attached to the letter. Could you process and them and predict which of the students will be able to enter MIT? See these colorful geometric shapes? They represent various kinds of numbers, letters, elements of images. In the modern world, everything can be turned into data, and machine learning is all about sorting and interpreting data. Long story short, your goal in the game is to transfer data from the left part of the screen to the right. These bars show the minimum amount of data that needs to be processed to complete the task. All right, so we need 8 and 8 here. So we're going to put in our expert system because it's the only thing we have. So if it's green, we're going to go here. Else, it's going to go here. I don't think you could change the seconds at all here. So let's go there. And let's test the run here. And you can speed it up. Release the program to complete your task. Release. All right. Okay, so it's going up in that sense. So errors in DB here. Errors in database. Hello, we have some errors in our questionnaires data. We can't solve the problem by ourselves. Can you fix it, please? Your efficiency is measured not just in money, but with medals too. Medals influence your story progression while boosting your self-esteem at the same time. To get a medal, your scheme has to meet the respective time and node limits. You can improve your results later on. Continue. Trash can. In the game, this node destroys elements. Important detail. No matter how many trash cans you place, they will count for one node in the node limit. In the real world, real data sets have a lot of errors. Filtering out errors is very important skills for all data scientists. So this is kind of like where I'm kind of meaning on why these games are kind of interesting, is that they kind of dumb down programming in such a way at the beginning that it actually seems really, really simple. But the algorithms that you're doing, and if you don't know if else statements, like let's say you're trying to teach someone that's a lot younger the beginnings of programming, instead of teaching them with like PowerShell or JavaScript or something like that, which can be quite cumbersome. Because how I started programming was actually using Scratch. Scratch is made by MIT. If you guys have never checked it out, probably you don't need to check it out, but it is kind of cool. It is an educational tool which uses like block programming. If you've ever used a microbit, it uses very similar systems, or even Minecraft. I think there's some versions of Minecraft that you can program with, and they also have block code as well. I find that very, very, very interesting because it just kind of simplifies the programming a little bit. So here we have our red, green, and blue boxes. And all we want is the red and green. So we're going to do an if blue, go to the trash can. Otherwise, go here. And that's pretty much it. Because we don't want any blue blocks. So blue is kind of the errors. All right, and time spent, we've managed to go underneath the time spent. Our nodes used, we've only used 2 nodes out of the 2 for efficiency. Our accuracy is 100% and our occupancy is 15. All right, so let's go release. All right, so let's go in here again. So errors in database number 2. Hello, it's us again. We found some new types of errors made by our servers, made by our users. Please update your program. It will be easier if you use the previous version of your code. Deep news, non-neural artificial intelligence. Mankind has always been trying to create artificial intelligence. Before the invention of neural networks, people used expert systems. An expert system is a deterministic algorithm which reproduces decisions of a real person. An example this is Eliza, the very first chatbot in the world. It was created in 1966 and talked with the patients using questions similar to real psychotherapists. It worked horribly. There's actually kind of a cool little throwback to something similar to this. Actually, on like Macs, I forget the exact command that you have to run on the terminal, but you could basically get a psychotherapist through the terminal, and it is a very hilarious time. So let's continue. Hey, check this out. Custom nodes are special nodes containing your previously designed schemes. Press on the middle tab to switch to the custom nodes list. Okay, so we have all of our custom nodes here. Drag the custom node sorting the red to the workspace. If you want to modify the scheme inside of the custom node, double click on it or press on the down arrow on it. So let's just go here. Let's modify it. Go back here. I'm really not sure why you would use that one. I would say, actually, no, I guess you could use that one. You could use that. And then that. So does that still count as okay? So it still counts as just one node instead of multiples. Okay, I see what they're trying to do here. So you're trying to like reuse your functions basically. All right. Decision trees. And then we get some optional some optional tasks afterwards. Okay, so cat overflow tasks. How to recognize a cat in the picture. Hey, there's no way to detect the cat without using expert systems. It works for texts, but with pictures, not so much. Furthermore, the cat just won't sit still. That it does not. Try decision trees then. Those are like expert systems, but on steroids. If you feel comfortable around them, try Sift. This little devil is more effective with pictures, also works nicely when paired with other algorithms. Or you can use nails or glue or something. Come on, it's just a cat. It won't fight you back. Please just don't use anything I mentioned on an actual cat. Different nodes have different processing rates. This parameter will influence efficiency of your schemes. Icons on the right indicate the amount of time for a node to process one element of data. Decision tree color. This node compares output parameters, the sockets, with an element's color. If the element color is equal to only one of the socket's color, the element moves to that socket. If an element color satisfies both conditions or none of them, it goes to a random socket. Decision trees is one of the most basic machine learning algorithms. Each tree knows a limited number of classes. For each element, the tree asks some questions and chooses the class most similar to the element. And it even gives you like articles and videos to kind of like learn more, which is kind of cool. All right, so let's do a decision tree here. I mean, this is pretty easy because green is in both, so you can just simply, again, do this because all the red ones are going to go here, all the blue ones are going to go in here, and then the green ones are just going to go in a random order here, so that's fine. Perfect. All right, so we can do a story mission, which is almost machine learning and basic machine learning. So we can do some more basic machine learning, or we can do one of the harder tasks. Let's do one of the harder tasks and see what those are like. Illuminati origins. Good day. I study ancient manuscripts and books in order to figure out the true story behind the Illuminati secret society. I need to recognize all the triangular shapes in these documents to solve the puzzle. Could you design a program that would do that for me? To decrease and increase the speed, click a button on the screen or use the arrows and or A and D buttons and use space to pause. So sift. This node compares shapes. If an element's shapes matches the designated shape, said element goes to the top socket. Others go to the bottom socket. In the real world, SIFT, scale invariant feature transformation, is one of the most powerful non-neural algorithms for detecting features on pictures, which is essential for image recognition. SIFT is very fast and capable of recognizing simple objects and patterns. See, like, and again, like, this is like something really, really cool because I don't really know machine learning all that much. Like, I use ChatGPT, of course, but I would never be able to program my own machine learning at this current time. I'm sure if I did like some reading on some documentation, I'd be able to. But this game kind of makes it really, really simple and teaches you the words. Like, I didn't even know what this game was going to be like. And I really like these article and videos at the bottom. I find it's kind of cool. So we can do sift here. I wonder what DLL is. DLL is basically a sandbox for schemes. Create them, apply them in tasks, experiment as you wish. You can use almost all kinds of nodes and as many inputs and outputs as you see on the screen. Keep in mind that you only have one slot for DLL nodes. Go to shop to get more. Interesting. Okay. How do I exit out of here? All right. We won't use that yet. I think it's a little bit too advanced for my level in this game because I don't really understand what I was staring at there. All right, so let's sift here. So we are looking for triangles. And then everything else is going to go to the trash can. And we can go ahead, we can pump these. And let's go ahead and let's run. There you go. We managed to perfect it there. Let's go next. Working for the man feels too easy, boring, or soul-sucking. Aim for the sky and become a CTO of a startup. In the world of savage market laws, it's either sink or swim. Will you get rich or bite the dust? It's worth trying anyways. Okay, Mama Smith's Pizza Shack. Hello, we're honored to invite you to join our startup, world's first AI-controlled pizza place, but our fingers are always stained with flour, and we really can't code because of that. Help us write and implement an algorithm that would be capable to separate orders for round pizzas from orders for square-shaped pizzas. Let's feed the people and become rich. Let's join the startup. I have a feeling this one will be fairly simple anyways. A scheme created while working for a startup does not differ from any other, but there is no solution to startups. A scheme just works better or worse, and for future profits depend on its quality. Okay, so let's do that. If it's round, go here. Else, let's go here. Let's go test run. We need to connect this one. Let's test run. Okay. Your program seems to be working fine. Further testing won't affect your results in the startup. Feel free to stop testing now. You're trying to design an AI-controlled pizza place. It serves pizzas in round and square shapes. The scheme you're designing is the brain of the pizza robot. It sorts orders by the shape of the pizza that your client orders. These are the users of your startups. In this case, your pizza restaurants. They've heard of a new amazing place in town and they want to go grab a slice. These are your clients' orders. The millennials don't care too much about toppings, only shape matters. Mind the accuracy. If the client gets a pizza that they order, they will pay you money and tell their friends about your place. If a client doesn't get what they want, they refuse to pay and don't expect them to return with friends. One more thing is clients don't like waiting in queues and they will leave with no hesitation. If your scheme is working slowly, the waiting line will get longer. The market is constantly changing, so pay attention to what's going on and experiment with your schemes. And now it's time to launch your first startup. All right, so let's go and let's release. So this action deploys the code to the servers. From this moment, the startup will actually work automatically. Let's hit launch. Let's get to business. This table is your principal source of information about your startups. Press next day. When you've switched to the next day, you get the money you've earned or lost depending on how many users' requests were processed by your scheme. Hey, look, your users seem to like what your scheme is doing. They're even inviting friends. The cash is flowing. When the hype icon is green, that means your startup is all over the news. Expect a lot of new users. Okay, that's pretty cool. Okay, time is passing by and the market changes. When the hype icon is yellow, it means that your target audience is already aware of your startup. Don't appear many new users at this point. When the hype icon is gray, it means that you've satisfied your target audience. Users are starting to leave. Watch your earnings carefully. When the number becomes red, it's time to cash out. How do I cash out? Let's go inbox. Nothing really there. Private. The history of expert systems. 1965 can be considered the starting point for the work on creating expert systems. That year, scientists of the Stanford Research Institute, Edward Feigenbaum and Bruce Buchanan, teamed up with Nobel laureate Joshua Lederberg and began working on a computer system designed to determine the molecular structure of chemical compounds. Right, who invented the decision tree? Decision tree is one of the automatic data analyst methods. The first ideas of creating decision trees dates back to the works of Hovland and Hunt in the late 50s of the 20th century. However, the fundamental work that gave impetus to the development of this direction was the book named Hunt, Marine, and Stone Experiments in Induction, published in 1966. So it kind of does a pretty good job at kind of teaching you like history and stuff at the same time. Let's go to the tree here. So neural networks will be in red. Let's go to Chicken Escape. Chicken Escape Farm. Hey there. Hi there. My name is Sarah. I own a small technology farm. Our distributors demand supplies of eggs of different kinds, and it takes a lot of time to sort them manually. That's why we've decided to automate the process. We have all the data about egg parameters, but we need an algorithm which will work without human assistance with high accuracy. All right, so we have this. So the circles need to go here, squares need to go here, and triangles need to go here. there is at most 2 nodes. So I think we can actually do this right here. So if it's a circle, and we have another sift here. So let's do, if it's a circle, we'll send it here. Otherwise, we can send it to this other sift. And then if it's a square, go here. Otherwise, it's really a triangle at that point, and we can go here. Let's test the run here. There you go. It worked. Nodes used 2 out of 9. So you could possibly use 9 here, which I think that's probably pretty excessive if you really needed to use 9 nodes. You definitely do not need to use 9 nodes. I mean, if you trash canned everything else, maybe. So I might be having some dropped frames. Yeah, we dropped a few frames here, but nothing too crazy, it seems like. All right, so let's go release. All right. Why is this one not a gold? It needs to be completed within. Okay, so you can't go to 2 things at once. Interesting. So this is not the best method then, because the time runs out. So this is not the most efficient way. No, it is not. Okay, so edit scheme. So I just don't really see how that would actually improve it. Like, unless we need more tools in order to do this one properly. Very interesting. You know what? I think because there's more squares, I wonder if we should do the square goes here, else goes here. After that, it should be if circle goes here. Otherwise, go here. Let's see if that changes the timing. It does not. I really don't. I'm sure this just takes the same amount of time. Like, I don't think that this will reduce the amount of time because it still needs to process each one. Oh. There you go. It takes the same amount of time. So if it's a square, do that. Okay, I'm not too sure why this is always like, do I want to do this? That's the only one that we have. And then these are the only things that we have the ability to use. We have the ability to use a trash can, but I don't think the trash can is going to be doing anything in this case. This is the only possible solution that I could think of. Thing we haven't done yet is the triangle first, and then else if it's a square, and then else a circle. Hey, so that's what it was. So it's really just the order on which we were filtering the data here. Okay, so how do we cash out? So let's go cash out here. Attention, today your shares cost. Are you sure you want to sell them and leave the startup? Yes. All right. So you can buy like different things. We can buy nodes as well. We can buy hardware, increase sockets processing queue by 3, increase data transfer speeds by 1. Okay, so you can actually upgrade your different tools here. Okay, well, let's do that. Let's buy all these hardware upgrades. We can't buy any nodes. Buy these. Okay. Let's go over here. Let's go into the tree and let's do a final level here, I guess. Or let's actually do these green ones, I guess. Optimization of the code. Hi, it's us again. We hope it's our last request. We've changed our database system. Can you update your code one last time? We need it to work faster. Okay, so they only want the red. We need to do it in 18 seconds, and we also need to do it with 3 or less nodes. So let's do a decision tree. No, probably not a decision tree, actually. Let's do... See, I don't think this will get us a gold star. I'm going to try it, but I don't think that this will make us get a gold star on this. Because there's too many. Yeah, we're already down. We're already down to bronze. We failed. Because this expert system is too slow. We need a decision tree. And then we need another decision tree. So we're going to do 2 decision trees. If it's blue, it's going to go to the trash can. Basically, then red and green are going to go here. And then the red ones are going to go here. And then the green ones are going to go to the trash. And this is basically half the amount of time that an expert system takes, even though there's 2. So let's test the run here. Yeah, this is way faster. Yeah, there you go. Release. All right, let's go to MedX. MedX, greetings. Our company is manufacturing all organic natural painkillers. They are used to decrease suffering, mood improvement, and coping with eating disorders. Known side effects including dilated pupils, diarrhea, physical and mental addiction are caused by the human factor. From time to time, our workers pick the wrong plants because they look like medical herbs. We'd like you to design an algorithm that would sort herbs by petals color. All right, so we want green, red, green here. We want blue, green here, and red, green here again. So let's do a decision tree. Okay, so if they are red and green, blue and green, but okay, no, we can't do that. This one is red and green again. Can you make 2? No, you cannot. Okay. So let's do that. Actually, let's do. So yeah, so these will gather all those. Let's have another expert system on if they are. Because green goes everywhere. Okay, I think this is what I want to do actually. I want to make all these ones go here. These ones go here, and then we can split these up. Because these will only be red and green. And these will only be blue and green. So I think that'll work. Okay, so we're slightly not super efficient here, which is kind of what I expected. Let's remove this. Let's put another decision tree here. Um, red, blue. Okay, I'm getting quite a bit closer. It's only this one now. That one is very, very bad. Okay. Okay, so this one is going to be sending. Let me just remove all of these real quick. Okay, so this is going to be sending all red and green. This is going to be sending blue and green. So this is going to be intaking red and green. So if I do So we need green at every end. So this could be any actually, and this could be any. Blue will go here, any will go here. Green will go. Red will go here. I have no idea if this is going to work. Not going to be efficient. All right. Well, let's try to do this again. So we had any and any. So we had red. So this is going to be red and green. So this is going to go here. This could go here. And this one is going to be, it's going to detect between green and blue. So if it's blue, it's going to go here. If it's green, it's going to go here. The only thing is that green could technically go here too. Let's try to do, because we know if it's blue, it's gotta go here. We know this. Now, if it's red and green, I don't think that that's really going to work either. If it's green and red, so blue will come out of either or, because it'll be random, because there's nothing to detect it. And if I do another one, where it's going to be blue is detected, so this is going to get blue and green. So that could go there, that could go there. And this will be red and blue, where blue can go here, red could go here. But that means we still have no green. So green will be any. So that will be blue and green will go here. If it's green, it'll go here. If it's red. No, I think I've got to separate the blues out first. I think that's what it really comes down to. And this one we only need 50, and this one we only need 60, and this one we only need 19. So this is the one that we should be funneling the most to right off the bat. So between red and green here, let's do... If it's blue... So this will be blue, and so let's change this to red, this to blue. Okay, so if it's red, which will be red and green, if it's any, go here. If it's green, or if it's red, really any and any, I kind of want them to go here. Like, that's really the end of the day. They can go either way. And this is going to get blue and green. So if it's any, it could go here. If it's green, it could go here. As this one requires the less. Let's do that. Hey, we got it. The way that we did it was we separated the red and blue, and then we noticed that this one required the most. So that's where we're sending red and green here, and then more green here. And then, yeah, that actually ended up working out pretty well. Cool. All right, so we're going to release this. And let's go accept. So we've actually done quite a few of these. So I think we are going to probably play this again sometime. Let's go in menu. Let's hit save. Let's call it stream. Let's call it. I like to have two saves just in case. Stream 2. Okay. All right, let's exit out of here. That is pretty much it for the live stream today, everybody. Thank you for tuning in. If you guys want to see more of While True Learn, please let me know in the comment section down below. I don't mind playing these types of games on stream. I think that they are quite educational at the end of the day. They kind of teach you, they kind of make you think logically on which way you should actually perform your operations to be the most efficient possible. We also got a bunch of new modules to kind of check out. Once again, we can actually bring those up really quickly here just before we leave. Let me just bring that scene up here. Give me 1 second. So we have all these modules here that we checked out on PowerShell Gallery today. So we have PS Windows Update, Microsoft.Graph, Carbon, PS Framework, and DBA Tools. And then we also had Gaspack recommend us a note-taking tool, which lets you use the Markdown language, and it seems pretty cool. It's called Obsidian, and it is completely free for personal use. Seems like there's also a mobile app as well as you can use it on your computer, whether it is a laptop or a desktop, of course. And this way you can sync it seems like you can sync your notes between the two. So that is quite useful for note taking inside of meetings, or if you're out and about and instantly think of something, maybe it's very good to add it to your notes. Sometimes I usually think of solutions when I least expect it. I'll think of an idea for a solution that I have a problem to. So I highly recommend you guys check those modules out and check Obsidian out. And I will see you guys on the next live stream next week. Now, of course, the live streams are usually start at about 11:30 now. So I will see you guys then. Be sure to check out the video that's coming out on Monday. It's some more PowerShell Universal videos still coming out. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, also hit that notification bell, be notified when that video comes out, and I will see you guys on the next live stream. Have a great weekend, guys. Thank you for tuning in.